Phil Spencer, o chefão do Xbox, participou de mais um programa, sendo entrevistado dessa vez pela galera do Xbox Era. É a terceira entrevista que a gente legenda para vocês nos últimos 30 dias, e claro que é sempre importante e sempre bom ver Phil Spencer colocando palavras e dando as explicações necessárias para a gente continuar entendendo sobre os passos e as estratégias da Microsoft. Afinal de contas, todos estamos no mesmo barco, queremos sempre estar informados. Dessa vez, eu legendei para vocês, é uma entrevista bem longa, tem cerca de 30 minutos, mas vale a pena cada segundo. Então, se você não assistir tudo agora, dá um pause e volta depois, ou quando você for deitar, quando estiver no ônibus, no seu escritório, na hora de almoço, assiste, porque vai te ajudar bastante a entender o que o cara tá falando, para onde o Xbox está indo, o presente e futuro da plataforma, a questão de jogos chegando em outros consoles, jogos exclusivos, o futuro da marca, o próximo console. Tem tanta coisa interessante nesse vídeo que eu vou deixar ele na íntegra para vocês, e qualquer coisa, vocês apareçam segunda-feira no bate-papo com o Leozeira pra gente conversar mais a respeito disso. E só para pontuar, você sabia que de cada 10 pessoas que assistem esses tipos de vídeo na Central Xbox, 7 não são inscritas no nosso canal? Se você puder, se inscreve, deixa o like, e se você puder também compartilhar esse vídeo para ajudar a Central Xbox a crescer cada vez mais e trazer mais conteúdos como esse tipo.
Back on the show for a second time, it's the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Mr. Phil Spencer. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing well. I so hate that title of CEO.
I know it's like the most corporate sounding thing in the world, but it's
I hear somebody say it, I'm like, but no, 250.
250 episodes.
250. Congrats! Like you guys.
Thanks.
It's like what an accomplishment. I love your voice in the community. Like it's just such an important part. What you've meant for Xbox, obviously, over the years, and your consistency in what you do, the way you kind of tune your voice on things. I love it. So congrats on the milestone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you. It really is. And we have to wish you, I think, a belated happy birthday.
Yes.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and you popped by into the Xbox Era forums in the obligatory happy birthday, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, my birthday was mid-January, 57 years old now, which is crazy to think about.
I have to wonder, though, like Phil Spencer, a CEO at Microsoft, what do you get Phil Spencer for his birthday? Is it like as a greybeard like us? Is it just socks? Because this is all I seem to get nowadays. It's just socks and something nerdy.
I did get underwear from Kelly, my wife. She got me underwear this year. But so now my family, my daughters, I have 2 daughters in their 20s, and they get me like T-shirts with Oogie's face on it, towels, and other things. So Oogie has become the center of the gift giving.
Now, you know, for us, the Developer Direct was yesterday. We were obviously not airing this for a few weeks for episode 250, but I mean, that's an impressive showing you guys just put on. I love that the Developer Direct is like January now. It's like, start the year, bang, and we're off to the races. You managed to keep most of the surprises a surprise. I'm pleased that no one out and out said, like, because it was known to a degree, but not everything was known. So
not everything.
How pleased are you and the team that you managed to kind of keep that secret?
Well, I'm going to start, and I think this was our 3rd year, right, that we've done Developer Direct, and just, it'll sound self-congratulatory, but the team here and how they've worked on the format and just the content, like such a great job. And Tina Meany, Team Sumford, like all of the team that leans in to get that project done. And the partners now, we have third parties in the show and that allow us in with our cameras and our storytelling in their studios, I think is awesome. And then, yes, like we're all on pins and needles. Like, can we keep it? And it's true. Some members of the press might have had a glimpse on Ninja and what was going to come, but I don't think they knew both. And then there was a drop that day. I didn't see. And then there were obviously other guesses that were out there that kind of lived. But no, the show, I loved it. Like we all got together as a team and watched it, even though we've seen it so many times. And it's just fun. Like because certain people have seen parts of it, but not the whole thing. So it's fun. We get into a bigger room here and watch it together. And it's a nice day for the community. It's a nice day for the teams. I saw a picture from the Platinum team. They all watched it together. And it's just a nice way for us to kick off the year. And I love that we've made it a tradition now.
Yeah, this is it's a good thing.
Now, I'm lucky enough to have you in my Discord, which means I get to see what you're playing a lot of the time. And I noticed you playing I noticed you playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which we've all been playing now, thanks to Game Pass. Now, I get the idea of not wanting to pick a favorite child, but from everything we saw at the Dev Direct, what are you looking forward the most to playing from the Dev Direct?
Well, again, this will sound a little bit like an ad, but the nice thing is there's some pacing to it, right? And when the games launch, so you can play them all. You actually don't need. And the first one, which even wasn't in the direct, would be Avowed. I'm really looking forward to that. Like, I'm a big RPG player. I love fantasy RPGs. It'll be fun to get Obsidian, just fantastic. But I have to, like, every game, everyone in there has a story for me. So I'll quickly go through. For me, Ninja was one that early on I wanted us to bring back, and flying out a few times to Koei, to Team Ninja, and even the Platinum, and try to bring that partnership together took years. And we've been working on it for a very long time, and consequently it's shipping in 2025 on Ninja 4, which is cool to see. But that's so good. That was like just the results of a lot of work. But I always, like, Doom has such a place for me in my gaming history. And then the moment where the whole id team is in their theater there and they announce their date together, like, that's just one of those moments as somebody gets to work with all of our teams here. Just kind of lights you up inside. But I'll say Compulsion. You know, I love those guys. They're early on in their journey. What's like their third real big game. Contrast, We Happy Few, and you can see the evolution of them as a studio and their capabilities. I love their world building. So, and then, you know, Expedition 33, what a fantastic looking game. So I see how I did. I didn't actually highlight one, but they're all kind of special for me for their own reasons.
You didn't answer my question at all, Phil. Yeah.
It's interesting, right? And you talk about I loved, you know, equally the bit with all the guys. It's releasing in May, and they're all in the theater screaming. Like, it was super cool. And the thing I love the most about the Dev Direct, aside from being kind of fed awesome games, is that you actually see the developers behind it, but not in this kind of canned, cheesy way. You guys let the mistakes come in, and, you know, because no one. Hugo's
line at the beginning of the id section. Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, but it's so human, right? And often, unfortunately, gamers with a capital G, they're just like, give me the games, and they don't often acknowledge, like, the people behind them a lot of the time. So I think it's really nice to actually see the faces of those developers. Now, when it comes to the Dev Direct itself, you know, fans have gotten used to, over the last sort of 18 months, of PlayStation announces for games. And you guys didn't shy away from it this time on your own show. Like, typically it's been like, we'll talk about that afterwards. We'll put a press release out or a blog post, but you're just showing the PlayStation logo now. I mean, we've embraced the future here at Xbox Hero. We understand, like, the bigger picture here, but, you know, is this just, hey, this is the Band-Aid off, guys. This is, you know, we're still going to be different decisions, but this is the new era. Get used to the way things are going to be. Like, how would you frame that to the community?
I think it's just being honest and transparent about where the games are showing. And we actually even had this discussion last year for June Showcase. And we couldn't, by the time we kind of made our decision, we couldn't get all of the assets done. And it felt weird to have some of them in and some of them out. But I just want to be transparent with people. If we're shipping on Nintendo Switch, we're going to put that. If we're shipping on PlayStation, if we're on Steam, like, people should know when the storefronts where they can get our games. But I want people to be able to experience our Xbox kind of community and our games and everything we have to offer on every screen we can. And obviously not every screen is equal. Like, there's certain things we can't do on the other closed platforms that we can do on open platforms. Cloud's different. But games should be the thing that we're focused on. And this strategy that we have allows us to do big games while also supporting our native platform, from hardware to the platform and services that we have. And that's going to be our approach. And I know it's not what everybody else is doing, but I just believe games should be the thing that's at the forefront. Maybe it's because of how I've grown up in this industry. I came building games. But I think the games are the things that I see growing in their strength in our what we're doing. And it's because more people can play. So I'm just trying to be open and transparent with people.
Yeah, it's funny as well. there was a radio host in the UK called James O'Brien, and he was on his radio show today. I don't know if you saw the clip going around on Twitter, but he was talking about how he's a PS5 guy, but he's also an old grey beard, and he was like, I want to play Indiana Jones. So he loaded it up on his Samsung TV and played the entire game through cloud.
Yeah.
Now,
Really?
I think that's cool. Like, great. Let's do more of that. Like, as an old person now, I feel like if I was a kid, I'd be in hog heaven with Game Pass. Like,
you're not old, dude. Come on.
I look older than Nick, and he's 44.
Yeah, John's
like,
actually
I've had a
younger
hard
than all of
life.
us. Yeah.
Well, first, I just have to call it out because my friends at Machine Games and the quality of indie, like it's a game I'm going through retail builds and taking my time. I'm in Thailand right now, and but so good. But yeah, like who does it? Like it doesn't really benefit people to gatekeep games, and it used to be the fact that the largest thing in our industry were the platforms. The largest thing now are the games.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good things for the games industry. Like that's what the industry is about. Storytellers of all sizes being able to tell their stories through the games that they create and allowing more people to play. I want Xbox to be the platform that enables that. That's why I loved at the beginning of the showcase of the Dev Direct, we could put up all these games are Xbox Play anyway.
Right way to open.
Right? And it's like they're on cloud. We've obviously done our work with not only is cloud part of the Game Pass portfolio, but you're seeing more games added to the buy your games and be able to stream your games. Allow people to play games. Like that's a good thing, not a bad thing for this industry. And especially in an industry that we all see it. Like it's struggling to find growth. Game costs are growing. So keeping restricting where those games can be played is not helping the games themselves. And I think we should optimize for the best games that we can have in this industry.
It's a damned good answer, I think. It's funny. I've seen a lot of people repeating something that you said back during the whole Activision Blizzard drama and the FTC about how Sony use the 30% that they make on Xbox published games on their platform to kind of reduce your standing in the market. But I saw a great point from Sam Tolbert on Windows Central. He's like, well, what about the 70% that they make? Like it's funding more games for all of us to play. Like, can't we focus on that? Like console wars is a social construct after all, right? Like,
no, and it may be not what I was going to say on stand at the time, but yeah, like I would love to make all of the money for all of the games that we ship, right? Like obviously we make more on our own platform. It's one of the reasons that investing in our own platform is important. But there are people, whether it's their libraries on a PlayStation or a Nintendo, whether it's they like the controller better, they just like the games that are there. And I don't want to then look at that and say, well, there's no way that we should be able to build a business there, find fans of our franchises there. I'm not trying to move them all over to Xbox. Like anymore, we're all so invested in where our games are. Let's just allow more people to play. And yes, the 70% that we make on games on other platforms is helpful to us being able to build great portfolios like we showed at Dev Direct. And I hope this will continue to show through the rest of the year.
Yeah, that has been one of the main things that we've talked about with our community, who their worry is, oh, will they be the Sega that just becomes third party? And it's like, no, the feeling that we always get is that the focus is the more places you are, the more your platform can still go. So just trying to alleviate worries in our community about the future of Xbox's platform itself has definitely been a thing for a while.
And I just want to show respect to the people who voice their concerns to me. Like I get it. And it's not, I would never disrespect anybody who comes with me concerned. I've got a library of games on Xbox console. I want to make sure I'll continue to be able to play those games. Are we going to still do hardware? Are we going to still get to play the games the way we've always played? Am I going to have to rent all my games? Can I still buy games? Like all that, but I get it. Like I get the questions. I think we've shown respect for people's libraries over the generations with back compat and play anywhere. And I want to continue to do that. You can buy every game that's in Game Pass. Like there's no thing. We're not trying to funnel everybody into one business model. Play the games the way you want to play them. We obviously have to run a good business, so we'll have our pricing and everything that we do. But I want to make as many options as possible for the games that we have, so they find more and more players. It's why us like embracing Windows and embracing cloud. It's allowed us to grow. It's one of our fastest growing regions for us right now is Asia. And it's not because we're selling more consoles in Asia, but through cloud and PC, we're finding more users year over year than any other place. The fastest kind of platform is cloud. That's the thing that's growing the fastest year over year. And those are players like you were talking about your friend or the UK, the
Radio host guy, yeah.
UK, like that. We were never going to catch that person with our console. And so let's find them in a way that works. And it's better for Indiana Jones. It's better for Xbox.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, this is the second time you're on. Thank you very much for that. Now, last time you were on, we sort of had a joke with you about how there's too many games. And you were like, there can never be too many games. Now, 2025 has come along, and I'm sorry, but there's now too many games. Now, because there is such a ridiculous volume coming this year, just from yourselves alone, forget everything else third party, have you guys got like I guess a specific strategy in mind or like a roadmap in terms of genre variety or anything like that? Or is it just, whatever the teams are doing, they're doing, and it's all going to come out whenever?
No, it's such a good topic. Matt Booty and I, talk about Avowed. We talked about this a little bit when we moved it, that between Call of Duty, Black Ops, which we thought was just going to be an awesome release with Black Ops 6, and the team, it was you didn't want to be around that. Like I said, we broke records with the number of players, still continues to do great. We really we thought Indy was going to be awesome. That was going to be our December game. So it was hard to actually find a time for us. And we said, okay, games can always benefit from more time. So that was it. But it was really about planning the portfolio. And I think we're still working on that. Obviously, when we stand up at Showcase and show the games that are Dev Direct, I keep calling it Showcase. And those are the dates that we're committed to. But when we look forward, we're definitely want to make sure that the games have the right amount of room, both from, as you said, like a genre perspective, whether it's add-on like a DLC, like a Vessel of Hatred for D4, Shattered Space for Starfield, or a full game. And it's nice to be able to have kind of more cards than we've ever had to play, and to be able to play them at the right times. But the studios are really the ones that enable that, and they're just doing really great work right now.
And then everyone tries really hard to avoid GTA 6.
So awesome when that comes out. Sam and the T like this. So
I'm the
good.
excited one. They're not big on Rockstar. I am though, so I'm looking forward to it.
I always buy it, but I always end up going, I open world games, I get fatigue, which is, it's funny because that segues me nicely. One of the things I read earlier this year was, and we've seen it from teams that made Grounded, and where these developer groups are splittering off and figuring out something on their own, and then boom, suddenly you've got a, relatively speaking, low risk product from a small team that suddenly does great, like Grounded, right?
Yeah.
It's 12 guys.
Yeah.
Do you feel that is a strategy that is going to be pursued more from Xbox? Because I look back at Hellblade 2, that was a more boutique, smaller, beautiful in presentation, but a smaller release. I think South of Midnight is a lower priced release at launch. I'm noticing this happening more and more. And is this something to facilitate this kind of like the era that we live in, where we've got these black hole games that just suck up so much time, and we didn't have TikTok 10 years ago, or Twitter, or all these other things that are asking us to focus on this and not play games? So smaller games is really helpful to me, especially as a dad with 2 kids. Like, I want an 8-hour one and done campaign. Is that a big focus for you?
Yeah, I said years ago, and I kind of got some tomatoes thrown at me about the impact that first party games have in our industry. And it was really this struggle that I saw for the business results. And there's obviously been huge for single player games, like there's no doubt. But part of our reason for trying to get a subscription going was to allow us to also support games that have a beginning, middle, and end. Like, I think that the synergies between, I want to play a game, Indy's not a small game, but like say Indy, and then when I finished Avowed's coming, I loved even from our Dev Direct, like all of those were single player games. They were all games that have a beginning, middle, and end. It was because I didn't want to see every game turn into some big service-based game, because they felt like that's where the business model has. Like, it's not easy to do that. Not every story is told in that way. Not every game kind of supports that, or creative idea supports that business model. And I love the fact that we can go and so, like when I look at what Double Fine's working on next, when I think about a team like Compulsion, right? These aren't the biggest teams, and they don't want to be massive 1,000-person teams, and we want them to be able to do great work. And so I want to create a platform that can support that. And yeah, I think it's an important part of our industry, because not every story is going to be 100 hours long. And not every game is going to have some kind of mechanic that has a currency and everything else. Some games just want to tell their story and move. Some of my favorite games, going back to like Limbo and stuff, like these are fantastic games that I want to see them continue in our industry.
Nice.
Now, as you're probably aware, Phil, we have patrons that support us incredibly.
Yeah.
And we reached out to them before you were going to jump on and said, look, we're going to try and get Phil on. So if you want to pop a few questions in, let us know. But before I get to those Patreon questions, I've got a bone to pick with you, mate. Now, back in August, you were in Germany at Gamescom.
Yeah.
And we were also, John already knows, we were also in Germany in Gamescom at that time, and you were gracious enough to respond to my Twitter DMs as we were trying to organize a meetup. Yeah. Now, you've been on our show twice. For all intents and purposes, that makes us besties at this point.
We're best friends.
And stop shaking your head, John. Now, I'm somewhat upset that you did not make more of an effort to catch up with me in Germany.
I think it's legit. I think you got a legit complaint with me.
Yeah,
we hung out with Jason Ronald. He was great.
What is the
Jason
next
Ronald
time
caught up with us?
Yeah. I'm a heel, right?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Honestly,
I would mark me off of your bestie list if I were you. I haven't earned it.
He won't do that.
I know.
Right, come on, Nick.
Jason
questions.
rolled up 9 p.m. had dinner, had some food with
Way
us.
smarter than I am.
Wouldn't stop talking. Kept us there till midnight. But look, I'm a forgiving person. I'm more than willing to forgive and forget in exchange for hosting the Xbox Extended Showcase this year. And
can you imagine how terrible
No,
that
that's
would
not
be?
my decision. That is not my decision.
No one should take you up on that, Nick. That's a terrible idea.
Don't be like that. That's not nice.
Good Lord. You'd be out there going, lock it up. Lock
You
it up.
gotta wear the sunglasses.
Okay, so we've got a few questions from our patrons. It's just the 3, so we'll read them out. So the first one is from our grand benefactor. Yeah, Jesse? Grand benefactor. Hey, Phil. We all know your favorite game of all time is Robotron 2084, but what would you consider to be the best game of this generation?
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to take our first party out.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to pick this one. I haven't thought about this. So I'm going to pick this one. You might say it's not. It is of this generation because it came out in this generation. It was also on last gen. But Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring.
I was going to say, point to that sword behind you. We know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's so good.
Game was I love new worlds, new franchises. Miyazaki's a good friend. Like seeing the work that they did, it took so much of my time in a good way. My astrologer with his stick throwing rocks at people was so much fun. So I think I would go with Elden Ring.
Okay. Good answer.
I would. That's me.
The rest of the industry agreed. So
yeah, that's
Maybe it was too safe. And the sword like sticking out of my head is kind of part of that. But
the next question is from another grand benefactor, Assassin Entertainment. Hey, Phil, I have to know, do you have a favorite franchise from your Japanese colleagues in the industry? If so, which one? No pressure.
Wow.
That's well, the timing's good. I mean, for me, it's probably Ninja because Ninja Gaiden just like for Xbox fans and players, like what that meant. Yeah. And it's such a tight part. But I say when I go, like Mizuguchi and the work that they've done, like he did, I think about like Luminous, like never left my Sony handheld. Like it was the thing that I always played. And I get so many friends there over the years, but just because of its history with us, I probably would go with Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
That I'm playing again, and it's fantastic.
Good answer.
Still.
Now the last one, and I'm hoping we've got a bit of time for something a little special in a minute. The Scarecrow 121 asks, "G'day, Phil." Another Aussie. My question is, how often do you get to take the executive team or any Xbox staff out for a fast food run? We've seen your photos of hanging out at Whataburger after Indiana Jones release. What is your favorite spot for fast food?
I'm actually not much of a fast food. I think after the Indiana Jones, we were at IHOP, International House of Pancakes, because of the partnership that we did with Indiana Jones. And I thought they did a fantastic job. If I go to fast food, and I'm trying to watch what I eat recently, but if I go to fast food, I'm probably a pizza guy. Like I like pizza. So, but our team, like our offsites, it's so crazy. We do them here. We call them on-site offsites. Like the team, we don't. But yeah, I'm probably a pizza guy. That's probably if I call that fast food, is that fair to call it?
It's fast.
Okay.
They normally have it. They've got it prepped, and you can just go get some. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It works.
Yes.
And for joining us for celebrating episode 250. Before we let you go, the last question of the day, because we asked this last time. We asked you what your favorite game that hasn't come out yet that you've kind of seen that the team were doing really good work. And last time you answered that State of Decay 3 was really up high on your get excited for list, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a little bit of that now at the showcase. What's your answer this time to that same question? What game, just a little tease for the community, what games should people be excited about of the announced ones that have been announced that you've...
Of the announced ones?
Yeah, you don't have to give us an exclusive reveal. I mean, you can if you want, but...
No, I was going to say, I'll go back to what I said earlier. Yeah, State of Decay is just one of the franchises I love back from the original one. So that one stays on the board. I do think the work that Double Fine's doing and how Tim kind of solicits feedback from the team. And the other one I'll say, because I was recently out at Rare, it's nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making.
It's been a while.
It's another one that it has been. And we've been able to give those teams time in what they're doing, and which is good, and still have a portfolio like we have. Which is like a dream that Matt and I have had for a long time. So it's finally good to be there where you can give those teams. But yeah, like all of that is so. And next week I'm going to be up in Vancouver with the Coalition, and how
Can I
fun
come
is
with
that? Yeah, I'm actually playing through Gears again. I have a coworker, and she's like younger and never played. She'd never played, and I said, "Well, they're all co-op, so let's go through." And we're on 3 now. Josh Stein's in. We're all playing Hitman. A friend of mine from Xbox Live. We're playing together, and those games hold up well. The storytelling,
especially on Series X with how good they look. 2 and 3, my God,
so good. So I'll be up there next week, which is I'm like a pig in mud when they let me in the doors. Of the studio.
That's unreal.
I bet.
I will say, I mean, if I can sneak in, do you any chance, and feel free to say no, do you have a question for us by any chance? Would you like to ask us a question? Flip the script a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the people who talk about video games, like the state of the game industry, press and community and all, like it's just in constant evolution. We see it. Not like the industry itself isn't either. But I'm just curious, like from where you sit, should we, as people who, like someone who consumes, I'm on YouTube, I'm reading stuff, like how should we feel about the state of people like yourselves who get to talk about video games? Like, should we be worried that whole space is going to go away or become corrupted by things? Can it, like people with a real honest voice and just who want to kind of talk constructively about an industry they love, or is there a path for them?
I'm the wrong person to answer that because I'm always open to bribery with free games. So I'm the wrong person to answer that. John's probably better.
We'll let the businessman answer real quick.
I'll swoop in. I think the reason we started what we started nearly 6 years ago now, which is crazy. Yeah. Last year was the first time at Gamescom that we'd all ever actually met. Which is like considering what we've done. The support we've had, the relationships we now have with publishers across the board. And the one thing that we started with and we've stuck to is we refuse and we will not stoop to manipulating a consumer's anger or fear to get money. And I think that that's the biggest problem that the industry faces across the board is it is this rage bait across YouTube, across any website really. And it's this lowest common denominator, scraping the bottom of the barrel because the clicks. And I think if you've got a community that can support you with a good, honest voice and you maintain your own integrity in terms of how you feel about things, you'll succeed. And I think we've proven that that's the case.
That's right.
There you go. There's me being poignant to wrap things
up. No, I love it. Because some days it makes me long for magazine subscriptions where you subscribe to a magazine. We've looked and that's kind of what you guys are, right? Yeah. And it's you're paying
he's going to show you something
basis for the quality of the dialogue. And exactly.
We nearly did one.
We made this that's just ours. As a test. Yeah. It's content from our website just put into a quarterly mag, but it's hard to produce.
Otherwise, it's just it's like, what do they call it? Search engine optimization or something. Yes. Like, and I have friends in the industry. I'm not I obviously do something different, but as somebody who's looking for kind of balanced discussion, not all positive, we should be constructive and talk about things that aren't working for us as players as well. But so sorry to make it a heavy question, but it is where my head's at.
It's a good one.
It's the one we think about all the time.
Yeah. We get just as mad as probably people that work in the industry reading stuff and thinking what is this take? We get the same level of which is why we do what we do. But look, we've taken up enough of your time.
Thanks
and we're
so
very
much
grateful
for your time.
For you giving it up.
Awesome. And congrats again on 250. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
Really great.